What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Alanis Morissette. And once again, big shout out to Yvonne, major friend of the channel, also a member over on Patreon, and someone who has shared a great deal of material with me, which I'm still in the process of going through, so I do appreciate the patience as well. But yeah, we're moving on in this album. I do notice it has, several tracks. It is, some albums like 7 or 8 tunes. I think this has over 10, so I enjoy the length or volume of the album. In any case, the next tune, do I have this right? Yeah, Head Over Feet. It's a funny phrase. I mean, it's obviously very similar to Head Over Heels, and I've reacted to, I think, like 3 different tunes by that name. Tears for Fears, Cocteau Twins, and there's another one. I'm trying to remember, is it Flock of Seagulls? Forgetting which other group it is. But yeah, as I've said in all of those reactions, the idea of being head over heels is where, like, your excitement, enthusiasm, and behavior has perhaps gotten your momentum such that you're now, like, essentially out of control. Like, you're so keen on a certain direction, and often used in relation to romantic attraction and infatuation, that you are, the gravity, the inertia of your behavior is now, going to lead to a series of consequences that perhaps, even if they're not painful, they're certainly going to be beyond your ability to stop. So it's a phrase used to indicate a passionate feeling, but one that perhaps there's a bit of danger for, or risk associated with, rather. But Head Over Feet, it's a sort of funny version of it. Like, your heels are on your feet, so I suppose you could just read it the same way. But it makes me wonder if there's a catch to it, or sort of a twist to it, and that's why it's different from the standard articulation of a very similar phrase. So let's see what's going on, or what I can catch on this first listen. This is Alanis Morissette, Head Over Feet, from her 1995 album, Jagged Little Pill.
I had no choice but to hear you. You stated your case time and again. I thought about it. You treat me like I'm a princess. I'm not used to lying there. You ask how my day was. You've already won me over, in spite of me. And don't be alarmed if I fall head over feet. And don't be surprised if I love you for all that you are. I couldn't help it. It's all your fault. Your love is thick, and it's swallowed me whole. You're so much braver than I gave you credit for. That's not lip service. You've already won me over, in spite of me. And don't be alarmed if I fall head over feet. And don't be surprised if I love you for all that you are. I couldn't help it. It's all your fault. You are the bearer of unconditional things. You held your breath and the door for me. Thanks for your patience.
I like that with the hard-edged guitar.
You're the best listener that I've ever met. You're my best friend with benefits. What took me so long? I've never felt this healthy before. I've never wanted something rational. I am aware now. I am aware now. You've already won me over in spite of me. And don't be alarmed if I fall head over feet. And don't be surprised if I love you for all that you are. I couldn't help it. It's all your fault. You've already won me over in spite of me. And don't be alarmed if I fall head over feet. And don't be surprised if I love you for all that you are. I couldn't help it. It's all your fault. La, la, yeah,
I love it. It was like the earlier part, but with her gliding over the top of it vocally. It's a really cool tune, and I love hearing it after some of the more intense and complicated tracks that we've heard across the course of the album. And that number one, if you can make a connection with a woman who has this, unabashed honesty and like this level of creativity and passion and power and so on, if you can make her say, hey, like in spite of me and all my craziness, like, you're a great listener and you genuinely like are there to, hold your breath when I'm trying to get something out and maybe I'm not doing it well, and you hold the door for me, and like, my feelings for you feel like the first rational thing. I've never felt this healthy before. Like, if you can make someone who, again, has had very complicated and, intense experiences feel like, wow, like I've never felt this at peace or content with someone before, then you're doing something right. And indeed, like, in some ways, like, it feels like like a cathartic tune, again, building from some of the ones where, we're making reference to relationships that sort of blew up or, went off the rails and so on. So I really love hearing this song at this point in the album. And I think, I certainly have strived to be that kind of person where, like, I'm not just viewing them as an extension of my narrative, the story of my life. It's like they have their own life, they have their own experiences, and if I'm just thinking about them in relation to what they mean to me or what they are to me, then, there's stories and parts of them that I'm missing. So I do my best to be like the person she's talking about in the song, and I feel like it was very uplifting to hear this tune, and I like the way that she's still indicating that, she's a bit crazy and it requires patience on the part of the other person, because maybe sometimes, she gets emotional about something, or she is, perhaps like not understanding what the other person is feeling or saying, but then she realizes, like, you're always here, you're always listening. So I like the way the song unfolded narratively, and I like again, the combination of that harder edge guitar with the harmonica. I like, when that came in, that was a really nice touch. And as I said, when that part came back for a reprise at the end and she was sort of vocally giving some melodic touches over the top, that was a really cool way to finish it off. So just a top tune overall. Luca agrees, even though I think she's been in and out of sleep for most of it. But yeah, once again, shout out to Yvonne for sending this album. As well as Philip and some others who I noticed have been commenting over the course of the record. And if I can get her off of my lap and again sort of that, like, just move the idol and put it back on the pedestal way, we can see what comes next in the album, which I think, yeah, so that's Mary Jane, which we did do before, so we'll be jumping over that and going to Ironic, which will be the next one. So yeah, I'm curious to hear what will be Ironic. Oh wait, isn't that that's like one of her hits, right? I know that tune. Isn't it ironic, don't you think? Just a little too ironic? Isn't that song? I think that's that song. If that is the case, and I'm thinking of the right tune, then that will actually be one that I know clearly not all that well, or I remember it sort of mostly for that part of the chorus. But yeah, I think I've heard it before. So that'll be interesting to reconnect with. Those are always a fun ride because no matter how well my brain thinks I know a track that I heard back as a kid or as a teenager, in this case, yeah, it'll turn out to be a much more, full and immersive experience. So looking forward to that. Once again, shout out to Yvonne. Let me know what you think. I will see you next time.
Peace.